Trump is raging. He's mad. The most egotistical man in America, who also happens to run America, a couple months ago announced that he would be organizing a giant military parade to quote-unquote honor the military. But it just so happened that he would be doing this on his birthday and focusing said parade quite heavily on it being a celebration of his birthday as well. Now, Trump, as we all know from every inauguration, has an obsession with attendance numbers whenever he has some sort of a thing that he's set up, right? Some kind of event or speaking event or parade or rally. He is obsessed with attendance numbers. From what I've seen, the attendance to Trump's birthday military parade, an actual sentence I'm saying in the year of our Lord 2025, was not quite what he was expecting, not quite what he wanted, and he is furious. He's baby raging and whining over the fact that the No Kings protests that have been happening all over the country, even here in Seattle, my very own home city, well, not home city, but the city that I exist in currently as we speak, is having its own protests in downtown. And it's very clear that Trump is a little perturbed by the fact that support for him on his birthday is lesser than the people out there protesting him elsewhere on his birthday. It is clearly getting to him, and his whining has been spectacular. So with that said, I thought we'd go ahead and check this out. Mind you, this military parade was, from the get-go, a massive waste of time, money, and troops, frankly. This entire military parade thing was just a stupid idea to begin with, and no one who wasn't embarrassing was defending it from the start.
President Trump's military parade through the nation's capital and the nationwide protests against his administration's policies. We have team coverage this morning. ABC's Alex Stone is live in Los Angeles, but we're going to start with ABC's Alex Perche, who joins us from Washington. Good morning to you, Alex. You were out there amidst all those protesters.
That's right, Janae. And it was quite the contrast between what played out on the National Mall, a parade of pomp and circumstance, and the many protests and some unrest across the country.
From Atlanta to Arlington to Albuquerque to Anaheim.
Damn, Texas.
2,000 separate demonstrations this weekend in all 50 states. So-called No Kings Day protest voicing opposition to President Trump's agenda and a joint birthday celebration he threw for the U.S. Army and himself. Many protests peaceful.
Dude, every picture you see of the parade, there's so much green in the grass. Like, nobody is in the audience. I've yet to see an image of the crowd from Trump's parade where there's people attending in the audience.
But some erupting into chaos.
Holy shit, is that a pickup truck? I've only seen a few police
Gunfire
pickup
breaking
trucks.
out during a demonstration in Salt Lake City, Utah. Police rushing to help one victim in critical condition. Authorities taking one man into custody and saying there are no other known threats to the community. A motive under investigation. In Los Angeles, police used flashbangs to break up crowds outside federal buildings downtown. Protesters.
Trump decided that it's somehow not against the First Amendment or unconstitutional in any way if he designates, like, an entire swath of downtown LA an unlawful assembly zone, such that it would be a crime to gather there for protest. And then, of course, on top of that, I believe he instituted a curfew in the city, so people can't be out after a certain hour without getting at least accosted by police.
Seen running to safety. Demonstrations in Minnesota canceled after that deadly targeted shooting of Democratic lawmakers. Authorities finding flyers for the protests in the suspect's vehicle. And in Charlotte, two protesters arrested for assaulting officers. Meanwhile, a stark contrast for President Trump's night, filled with pomp and circumstance in Washington. Commemorating the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army and his 79th birthday.
Okay, we had some people in the crowd.
A military parade along the National Mall. The first of its kind since 1991. The military estimates Saturday's parade cost as much as $45 million in taxpayer money.
Every other country.
Yeah, listen, Trump's not going to be wasting our taxes on war. He's just going to be wasting our taxes on big showings of how much war we could do. And then he's going to waste it on war.
Celebrates their victories. It's about time. America did too. That's what we're doing tonight.
But just outside the perimeter, thousands gathered to protest.
More than 1,000 people gathered at Logan Circle, now marching down towards the White House. But they felt passionate about being specifically here in D.C. peacefully to make sure that the White House hears their opposition.
President Trump told reporters last week that protesters would be met with heavy force.
I am here today, here in D.C., is because he...
Trump really walked into this one, didn't he? Like, he could have just spent his birthday just chilling at the White House or Mar-a-Lago or hanging out at the top of the Trump Tower eating like a gold foil covered steak or something. But instead, he decided that he was going to throw a massive military parade that he'd announced months and months in advance, like 2 months ago. More or less gives time for people to figure out how many tens of millions of taxpayer dollars it would cost just to host the parade, and give time for people to get pissed off even more so at his policy so they could prepare a protest during his giant birthday parade. He could not have walked into this more easily, frankly. It's like walking on a rake, like stepping on a rake and it just smacked him right in the face. He walked right into this one.
threatened us. Like, how crazy.
Roseanne Rodriguez is a veteran who served with the 82nd Airborne.
I have a right protected by the Constitution that says I can be out here.
Now, the White House later attempted to clarify, saying the president supports peaceful protests, but his comments were motivating factors for some to cancel their D.C. events. Notably, there were no reported arrests in Saturday's march.
Republicans do always say that they love peaceful protests. It's just interesting how they claim every protest with a message they don't agree with is violent, usually with a helping of nonsense claims that whatever city that protest was held in has been burned to the ground. How many American cities are like Fallout-style ash heaps now, according to the Republican narrative? Like, apparently Portland doesn't exist, Seattle is gone, Kenosha, Wisconsin has been annihilated, you know? Where else has been destroyed? What other cities have been wiped off the face of the earth by protests from the left?
Alex Boucher, thank you. And one of the larger protests was
Michigan doesn't even exist anymore.
In Los Angeles, where marchers also angry over Trump immigration policies clash with police.
True, LA.
ABC's Alex Stone continues our team coverage. And Alex, you were there overnight when these demonstrations escalated.
Weird. Good morning. Yeah, we were right in the middle of all of it. And overnight, the LAPD battling back crowds. The crowds grew during the day. They had been peaceful early on in the day, and then they became more violent at night. All day marchers made their way around the city. They were loud, but they were peaceful during the daytime. One estimate putting the crowd at 20,000 people filling the streets here. But the crowd really grew around the federal building, and at around 4 p.m., the LAPD saying officers were taking chunks of concrete,
I don't know.
bottles,
I
and
think
rocks
I
were
see.
being thrown at them.
I think I see a party being clearly more violent here. Like, you can't do the whole, like, sympathy bait for the armed police. They're, like, swatting back people because they're saying stuff that the president doesn't agree with, you know? Like, they're saying right now the protests were non-violent during the day, but you know who's clearly being violent? The police. I like to imagine at night, maybe the people getting, like, harassed by these cops are a little less, you know, their patience is a bit shorter, and maybe that's why things get a little more violent at night. But man, watching this and knowing that what these people did wrong here is just gather together in the street to protest something they don't like, it's very clear, you know, we're in rough times. This is clearly not normal procedure. You know, there were big protests like this under Biden, under Obama, and this was not how the police response was generally. This is the police response to protests under Trump. We saw it during his first term, and now it's even worse during his second.
They moved in, clearing the streets. We were there as they were forcefully coming in, pushing back the crowds, using gas and less lethal rounds, firing them at protesters who would not leave. Late overnight, the LAPD again gained control of the streets around the federal building here. Once again, the curfew went into effect around 8 last night. And here at the federal building, Gio, this morning, the National Guard is here. The Marines have been out as well as they're protecting this building. Gio.
All right, Alex Stone.
Trump has called these people insurrectionists. The man who blanket pardoned the J6ers. Mind you, the J6ers that got convicted were the people who were caught on, like, CCTV camera, like, jumping rows of seats on the House floor with, like, zip ties in their hands, ready to kidnap politicians. Hold on. J6... Can I find that one image I'm thinking of? This motherfucker. Yeah. What do you think this guy was there to do? These were the people that got convicted and sent to prison because of what happened on J6. It was the people that did this shit. Trump blanket pardoned all these people. What do you think this guy has those zip ties there for? What do you think he brought those there for, guys? He literally has his phone strapped to his stomach, probably recording everything like a retard as well. That's quite funny. He looks like an ICE agent. Well, it's because he's a LARPer. He's just wearing tack gear. There are a lot of stores that specifically cater to this type of dude that in the gun world, you just call them tack bros is the term that most people use. Like the types of dudes who buy all this over-the-top tactical gear. Everything they wear, from their boots to their hat, is like military-inspired, hyper high efficiency, high use case. Tactical LARPer. That's a good. Yeah, tactical is another term that people use a lot. This guy's just a tactical LARPer. He's a tactical bro. Also, Cirrus was at the No Kings protest in D.C. Oh, very cool, One Piece 34. Did Cirrus stream it or something? Could be some good content. But yeah, like, Trump is the guy who blanket pardoned all those people. And meanwhile, he's calling the people protesting him, peacefully, mind you, insurrectionists. We actually have another story here about how DC is reacting to the military parade. Apparently, it's along the lines of, "It's sickening. This is happening in my home city." So people in DC do not seem too happy about this, which makes sense. They tend to lean pretty left. A Trump supporter. Holy fuck. Holy fuck, man. That right there is a red-blooded, Trump-supporting American. That when you think, who is it that got Trump into office? Who are the people out there in the millions and millions who voted for Trump? It's these people. Guys like this got him in office. I like how no Trump supporter on the face of the planet can explain a policy that Trump is trying to push or put into place that would improve America. It's always like some unfalsifiable nonsense these days. Like, when was it that Trump was going to make the economy better? Like, now that he's tanked the economy, why has that completely left the conversation? Why is that no longer even part of the political conversation right now, the economy? It's because the right controls the political conversation, and it is not advantageous for us to be talking about the economy right now. About it, like, come on, turn down the vibes. Is that Tony Hawk? He does look like Tony Hawk. I'm not gonna lie. Is that Tony Hawk? No, it's not. Is it him? He looks like him. No, it's not him. That's just a guy. That's not him. He looks like Tony Hawk, though. He does. No, you're not wrong, Timey the Cutie. That he does look like Tony Hawk, especially like above the nose. If America actually becomes a fascist state, I'm not leaving. I'm staying here, and I'm waiting for them to come for me. All right? That's all I'll say. I'm not leaving. I ain't leaving. cringe, okay? They can be cringe, but they are so much better than, well, any conservative for the most part, but especially the tankies, you know? Like, these people are out here protesting. They might be, you know, cringy like brunch liberals, but I'd say, you know, their hearts are in the right place, and they're out there protesting, and I like it. I like what they're doing. Fine. Hold on.
I find it very offensive when people call me the N-word, Nazi. I find it very offensive.
Yes, we know you find it offensive. We know, bro. Oh my god, these fucking people. Like, these people are, by the end of Trump's second term, I would not be surprised if racist doesn't end up being some kind of slur. Like, if you call someone a racist, it's a hate crime or something in America by the end of Trump's second term. Man, the average Trump supporter is unhinged and mentally ill, but it gives them so much energy, you know what I mean? They have so much energy and motivation to get out there and simp for their king. And their mental illness provides that. Like, you can tell this guy's mentally ill, right? Like, he's not all there. We're not pretending he's... That's true. There have not been any deportations of people who are legal citizens. It hasn't happened a single time, and you have nothing to worry about. I love how this has been, like, the consistent trend, have been, like, Trump supporters who are legal citizens getting shit from ICE, and then they're like, what? This isn't what I voted for. This isn't what I wanted. What is happening? What? I'm a legal citizen. What are you talking about? And they haven't realized yet, and many of them haven't realized, Trump didn't mean it when he said, if you're here legally, it's fine. That was always a lie. Like, he is acting upon the reality of what he truly believed, and so many of these people have still tricked themselves into thinking they're safe. But to be fair, who wants to believe that they're fucked? That, like, you know, the election is set in stone, and the guy in power right now is at some point, sooner or later, going to get to you. And they're going to come along to deport you and fuck up your life.
Fix their papers, and, you know, they've been here for a long time, so they should have hired a lawyer and do all the paperwork that they had to do.
You have seen...
Okay, I can't 100% tell, but based on her accent, it sounds like she has a Cuban accent to me. I think most of you guys would agree. If you're like 40 years or older and Cuban, there's a very high, and in America, there's a very high likelihood that the Republicans have their hands like all the way up your asshole, and are controlling, like pulling the strings in your brain, you know, with their hands. There is this like bizarre tendency among like boomer Cuban Americans to simp hard for Trump, simp hard for the Republicans, and to very much lean right. That's the vibe I'm getting from her, and her accent comes off to me as Cuban. It seems Cuban. To be cringe. Well, what I've seen is that among like Cuban Americans, like 40 and older specifically, the rate for wanting closed borders when polled is something like 78%, 79%. Like it might as well be 100. Like, it is absurd how much like kicking the ladder down behind them there is when it comes to older Cuban American, even immigrants. It is interesting. Like, we're having a Kim Jong-un North Korea style military parade as like a show of strength. Trump says it's like, you know, we're just celebrating the 250th birthday of the US military. It's also his birthday, you know, just a little detail there. It's convenient. And like, this whole thing is just a big waste of money. Like, he walked into this by deciding to still hold this parade while nationwide protests are happening. Apparently, on Truth Social, Trump has been quite upset about the attendance numbers to his parade. Here, let me see if I can find the clip. Here it is. It's in this Brian Taylor Cohen video. We love Brian Taylor Cohen. Here's the clip of a look at the attendance to Trump's birthday boy parade.
And brace yourself, because it's not exactly what we were promised.
Look at this guy aura farming in the field. Coachella, take a seat.
I mean, there's got to be 10.
Oh man, dude, that is rough. That is fucking rough, bro. I think the largest estimate I saw of the attendance was 50,000. For comparison, the I Have a Dream rally drew 250,000 people. Yeah. Like, keep in mind, by the way, this wasn't just framed as Trump's birthday parade. It was supposed to be a military birthday celebration parade where you've got, like, helicopters and tanks and planes and jets and stuff, and it's supposed to be cool as fuck. Even if you don't like Trump, you were supposed to be like, this does seem cool. I should still go. If you go to the 4th of July there, you wouldn't be able to walk in any of the space they showed. Yeah, like, this pales in comparison to any other events that have been held on that White House Capitol lawn. Not the White House, but the Capitol lawn of the past. Crazy vein in Brian's neck, lol. Yeah, I mean, that's not a vein, that's just a muscle, but yeah. He's exaggerating right now, his neck, so he's like, you know, he's got that vein popping. Or that muscle popping. Anyway. I just think it's really funny how low the attendance has been. It's very silly. On top of that, I believe there's a... can I find it? Where is the... Here it is. Here's Trump not the protest. I'm thinking of it as the protest, not the parade, because the protest is the actual event people were there to see. That is Trump doing a salute at his birthday parade. I just want you to look at his face, you know? Look at his face. He looks upset. He looks downright upset. That is the face that a toddler makes right after it's just shit itself. He looks like he needs a changing. Look at his face. He's frowning in a way that looks like his face is... Oh my god. You guys know how, like, when you were a kid, your mom or grandma might say, "Don't make that pouty face so much. Your face will get stuck like that." I always used to think that was a lie. But Trump might be proof it's true. His face always looks pouty and angry. And I think it literally got stuck like that. I actually feel bad for a lot of the soldiers marching. You could tell they really didn't want to be there. Dude, so many of them in the video I've seen are chugging down bottles of water as well. Like, I'm here in Seattle, and it's hot for Seattle, which is not that hot, but it's still rough. You know, it's not great. It's pretty warm. DC is pretty far north, but it still seems like a hot, sunny day there today. And it just seems like a lot of the military guys that I've seen on the video are just exhausted and overheated, just chugging down water like, oh man, can this please just be over, bro? Can we please go home? Is it humid in DC? Yeah, honestly, it's fairly humid in DC. Not Florida or Seattle humid, but fairly humid. I don't know how humid it is there today, but still. What a waste of our taxpayer dollars. I hope Trump is happy with his nothing turnout for his big birthday boy parade. It literally could not be more cringe than he made it, unless he decided to do some big speech where he talked about how he was like the savior of America. That I am surprised he didn't do. Who knows, though? The day's not over yet. Anyway, folks, if you guys enjoyed this segment, if you want to see more from me in the future and you found this one enjoyable, educational, or entertaining, then please consider leaving a like if you haven't already. Whether you're watching this live or after the fact when I upload this as a segment of its own on YouTube, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, as every single like forces YouTube to push my content out to new people in the algorithm and boost my channel and help it grow. I really do appreciate it. It's totally free and it only takes a second. Thank you to everybody who does that. And be sure to hit the comments as well, and leave a comment too if you want to boost the channel even further. It's totally free as well, and if you don't know what to say, you can just say, "Who up Xandering their hall?" And, you know, any engagement in the comment section really does help. Thank you to everybody who does that. And of course, if you want to see more from me in the future, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications, so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload new videos in the future. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, follow my social medias linked down below, particularly my fan Discord, as it's the main hub of my community and fan base, and on top of that, I host gaming events, call-in streams, watch parties, movie nights, etc., all in my Discord server every week on Fridays. It's a blast, so I hope to see you guys there. And of course, finally, man, my mustache is itchy right now. If you guys want to support me directly, financially, on my website, xanderhall.com/live, to help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then you can donate, subscribe, or gift a sub to someone else. It really does help a lot. And of course, if you want to support me on other platforms, you can do so on YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, all linked down below in the description, along with my custom merch link down below as well through Streamlabs. I have a merch store, so I hope you guys consider picking something up. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.